Hi, I'm Debbie Carter, Vocational Nursing Program Director, and I wanted to create a video for you just to help you with some tips and some facts on navigation through ATI. I know that you've already worked in ATI some in the fall. You may be familiar with certain things in ATI where other people aren't familiar, and that's okay. The more you do it, the better you'll get at it. You may hear some terminology you've never heard before, but we do need to learn how to do certain things in ATI because in the spring and summer, we'll be using more and more ATI to help you be successful. So first of all, you log into ATI just by going to www.atitesting.com. When you first get into ATI, you'll be defaulted to your home page. You'll see these 4 tabs at the top: Home, My ATI, My Results, and Help. So we're going to go through these different tabs. But when you're on the home page, which I won't click on there now because I have a student who's given me permission to release her information, but I'm protecting her privacy as much as I can because this is actually her demographic information. But if you click on your home, that will be just checking your demographic information, shows your address and all of that information. And then My ATI is where we'll go in to take tests and quizzes and things like that. And then you have My Results where you can see how you did on things. And then this is the Help tab we're in now. So just to kind of familiarize you with a couple of things on the Help page, you have FAQs here. There's technical requirements and support issues with the website. Very important that you do read that. Make sure you do have the technical requirements on your computer, including the camera specifications and the actual laptop or PC specifications that it requires. You want to make sure you have everything intact because it's very possible, depending on which campus you're on and what is happening at that time, that we could be doing testing that's proctored from your home through ATI. And we use a program that's called Proctorio that interfaces with ATI. So just make sure now, before the spring even gets rolling, that you have all those specifications like they should be. You can look on any one of our syllabi, and we've put that under computer requirements, the actual specifications for your camera and everything like that. So you can look there, but I suggest that you look under this tab just to make sure. You can see that your best browser is Google Chrome, so it gives you the option to download that if you need to. It shows you all the specifications that you need to have on this. So that's really good information for you right there. Okay, so if I go back to the FAQs, going down, there's just general FAQs here and general how-tos. We'll come back to that in just a minute for something. And then we've got your ATI orientation and support. You can look at that. Skills modules. It tells you all the different skills modules there and how to access those. And here is a getting started with ATI little tutorial. It'd be good for you to watch that if you haven't watched that yet, even though you've already been using it some. It would really help you with that because, like I said, we will be using ATI more than we ever have in the spring and in the summer. Now, if you need to contact ATI, you can do so. We have 2 consultants that are very helpful. If you need to, you can't get a hold of the contact number for ATI for support. We've got Derek Brewer and Sharon Wright, which we can give you their email addresses if you need those, and you can contact them directly, or you can go to the Contact Us right here, and you can scroll down, and you'll find a phone number here. So there's a 800 phone number that you can call. They do have heavy call volume sometimes, so you may be on hold for just a little while, but they do have pretty good customer support. You can also chat. There's a chat here if you would rather do it that way. So that's what's under Help. So there's a lot of information under Help that you can go to if you're needing that extra assistance. Okay, so if we go back, we're going to just go through these tabs here. So we're going to look at the first tab, which is My ATI. Sometimes it takes just a little bit to load. Okay, and here we have your Learning System PN under test. You can view this under tests you have not accessed, or you can leave it all. Okay, the content area, you can specify certain content areas that you want to show on here. Okay, so I just wanted to direct you to some things. This is where you would actually go to take your proctored exams. And also your practice exams. Okay, so I wanted to direct you to something that would be really helpful. I would strongly recommend you start using this right now. I recommend that you take 2 hours starting now every week at a minimum, in addition to all your studying, and start doing your NCLEX practice questions. You can use different resources too if you want to. ATI is a great resource to help you do that. Another great resource I've heard lots of good things about is called UWorld. I would not wait till the summer to get your NCLEX resources and start actually doing those practices now. Because this is one thing students don't understand, is that when you practice those questions that are NCLEX style questions, it is building your competence on answering critical thinking questions and answering those NCLEX style questions. So not only is it helping prepare you for the NCLEX exam in the summer, which is obviously your ultimate goal, it's also getting you better at being able to take the exams and get better scores for all of your course exams, as well as the ATI exams that we'll be incorporating in the spring and summer. So I just wanted to show you this right quick. If you go under Learning System PN, okay, and remember, we are under My ATI tab, and we're under the Test tab, okay? So when you go down to the Test tab and you see different areas pop up, and it could be that you don't see certain tests that you're going to take because your instructor hasn't opened it up yet. So you should see what's available here, and you just click on that actual test, okay? So for this one, we click on Learning System PN, and I just wanted to show you there is a wealth of questions in here that are NCLEX style questions. And ATI consultants that work for ATI are actually very experienced in NCLEX test writing skills. So it's really, really good practice the more you do of this. So again, a minimum of 2 hours a week would be the commitment that you should set aside in addition to your regular studying to actually practice NCLEX style questions like this one. It will be also helping you study, like I said, for your actual tests that are coming up in the program. Okay, so you click on Dynamic Quizzes. Okay, when you click on Dynamic Quizzes, click on, let's see here, just to make sure I'm in the right area. Quizzes and Assignments. Okay, and this is going to open up to a page that shows your score. So it's like a progressive score, your performance. And if you work in here a lot, it's going to show you your score as it progresses. Okay, so here this is just a dashboard that shows you your data. If you go over here to Quiz, okay, and you click on New Custom Quiz. Okay, so as you're practicing your questions, you can go here and make your own quizzes. This is a really, really great resource. So if you do, I would always recommend that you click on Timed, because you need to begin to practice on making sure you time yourself at about 50 seconds to 1 minute per question, okay? Study mode would put your answers and explanations available during the quiz. It's really not as good of practice. If you're practicing the NCLEX questions, it's good to leave those rationales off Maybe you could spend a certain amount of time with the rationales on and sometimes with them off. So each time you get ready, you just come in here and you're creating a new quiz. Now, if you want to do the computer adaptive testing, you click on this one. Okay. So computer adaptive testing, you can see, is not timed anymore. So it's doing its own thing. So if you're doing the computer adaptive testing, all that means is you're getting yourself ready to take NCLEX style, because that's exactly what NCLEX will have you do, is computer adaptive testing. And all that means is it's giving you a question, and if that question you answer correctly, it's going to give you a more difficult question, and so on. It's going to keep doing that. If you answer the next question incorrectly, it's going to give you an easier question next. So it's adapting to your knowledge. But it also tests for minimal competency, speaking of the NCLEX, that is. So that's the way computer adaptive testing. So you definitely want to get used to doing some of your practice tests with your computer adaptive testing turned on. As you can see, there are 2,919 questions in this bank. Okay, you can click or unclick all. You can, let's just say, for example, you have difficulty in med surg with endocrine. So there's 45 questions in there just on endocrine. Go ahead and just click that one, and you can do an exam just on that. You can see there's 421 in pharmacology. Pharmacology is something that you will get tested over NCLEX, so I recommend you do start doing questions now on pharmacology. Again, the more you practice this, the more confident you're going to be, and the better you're going to get at your critical thinking skills and learning to become efficient at answering those NCLEX style questions. Okay, so once you get it like you want it, then you come down here and you just hit Start CAT exam. So it's going to start giving you the questions. Okay, you can see it's got a highlighter, it's got a calculator. There might be lab values if you need to see some lab values and that kind of thing. Okay, so we're exiting from the quiz, going back to the My ATI tab. Okay, and today the main thing we're going to look at is the ATI proctoring exams that we're going to be doing in the program, and the focused reviews we're going to be requiring as well, and just a little bit about how to access those. So under the test, again, this is where you'll go to take any test. Under this My ATI tab, you see some other areas. There's Improve, Apply, and there's also this NCLEX Prep. Okay, so there's this live review NCLEX tutorial that you can also look at. It's a lesson plan there. That's also extra assistance for you. Okay, so back to the tab. We're going to go to Improve in just a minute. If you go to Apply tab, that is where you find your skills modules, and this is probably what you're already familiar with. There's also something called Real Life, and we may use these in your clinical simulations. So this is how you would get to the real life scenarios. You click on My ATI tab and Apply tab, and you can see that there. Okay. Before I get into the Improve section, I want to go to my results. So if you take a test in ATI and you want to see the results, you can come over here, and this is a really neat little statistic here. It has an ongoing probability of passing NCLEX. So the more you work in ATI, the more prediction you're going to get there. It's going to be changing all the time based on how you're doing in ATI. So as you can see, like probability is 99% of passing. So by the summer, you want to have above a 90% probability of passing NCLEX when you get to that point. So if you look under my results, let's just take, for example, one of the exams that the student took. You find one that actually counted for a grade. So the proctored exams generally are scored as levels 1, 2, and 3. Level 3 is the highest you can get. That level 2 is where you want to at least be in the level 2 range. And it is basically saying that you have a pretty good chance of passing NCLEX if you get a level 2. If you get a level 1, you're more in a risk category, and you need to do a little more work in what we call focused review. And that's ATI. They have the focused review for any test, whether it's a practice exam you took or whether it is a proctored exam. You should always go into the focused review and use that material to study with. That's really going to help you. So you are going to be spending a lot of time studying in different areas, not just your courses, but also in ATI for the spring and summer. So you've got to begin now in preparing for taking your NCLEX exam. So let's click on the PN fundamentals. You can look at this and see, okay, well, this is under my results. So this student spent 24 minutes and 49 seconds in the focused review, received a level 2 on this. These scores are just conversion scores, so if it's got a level to it, I wouldn't pay as much attention to that as you would the level, because we're going to give you the grades based on what level you got. So I just wanted to draw your attention what you can do to even help you study more as you get ready for NCLEX. You click on the actual test that you took, and it shows you here.
I did quite get that.
Sorry about that. It tells you here actually what you scored in each area. So these are NCLEX test categories. When they create the NCLEX exam, they use these categories to make the exam. So they have coordinated care, they have safety and infection control, they have psychosocial integrity, basic care and comfort, reduction of risk potential, physiological adaptation. There's a lot of different categories that they actually use. And then they have clinical areas also. So what we're going to look at is, say, coordinated care. Okay, so you can see topics to review. There were 3 areas. If you click on coordinated care, you can see specifics on what those areas were. So you can see, like, for example, confidentiality, information security, professional responsibilities, maintaining confidentiality. Okay, so these are areas that you'd want to improve on. Okay, so you can look at those and look at specifics, but then you can also download this report. I just wanted to show you what that report looks like. This is really good data here. Okay, so this shows what the student got, a level 2 on the exam. It also has, it has a national mean and an adjusted score. But again, for us, just look at the actual level, okay? This just gives data. This gives topics to review. This is great data here. So you scroll down, you can see specifics for the data. What the student scored for under the nursing process in each area. It's really good data too. Okay, the score and explanation and interpretation, individual performance profile. This is important. Each test is a little bit different. So these are the levels I was talking about. So most every one of your proctored exams for ATI, with the exception of the comprehensive predictor, is going to be scored as a level. So you can see how ATI scores their level 3 as scores meeting the proficiency level can be considered to exceed most expectations for performance. Scores meeting the proficiency level 2 standard can be considered to exceed minimum expectations for performance. Scores meeting the proficiency level 1 standard can be considered to meet the absolute minimum expectations is a level 1. So you don't want to be at a level 1 on your exams when it's all said and done at the end, because you want to be at least in that level 2 or level 3. Below level 1, scores below proficiency level 1 standard can be considered below minimum expectations and can be indicative of significant risk in this content area. So definitely want to do those focused reviews in order to get as high of a level as you can get. Okay. So just going over here to course syllabus, I just want to show you right quick. We're going to have 2 tests, 2 courses in the spring that you will actually have a proctored exam in that will count the same percentage as a unit exam. So that will be advanced skills and maternity. And you'll be given a practice exam A and a practice exam B in a proctored environment about halfway through the class. You'll want to do focus reviews on both of those. And as a matter of fact, some of your instructors, it's totally up to your instructor, they may require a certain amount of time on a focused review for your practice exams in order to sit for the proctored exams. Okay, so make sure, because if you look down here at the bottom of the syllabus, and remember the syllabus is actually your policy, but down here at the bottom, let me see here. There's a statement. There may be requirements in this course as a prerequisite to exams at the instructor's discretion. Failure to submit instructor required work will result in the student not being allowed to take the exam and receive a 0 on the exam. So if that were the case and you didn't turn in your work that your instructor requires to take the exam, then you would receive a 0 on that proctored exam, which counts the same as a unit exam. So you do want to do that, and not just for that reason, but for the fact that it's preparing you to do as well as you can on that proctored exam. So just wanted to show you here. Now, maternity will look pretty much the same, but it shows here that the unit exams are all worth 80%, and that includes the proctored exam and it'll be the fundamentals proctored exam. So you do have an opportunity to earn back a couple of points if you do focused reviews. Now, like I said, you want to do focused reviews, and you may be required to do focused reviews on those practice exams that you did a couple weeks before these proctored exams. But for the proctored exam, when you get done with that, if you want to earn back extra points on that, you can do focused review and fill out what we call active learning templates, which I'm going to show you more about here in a minute. Okay, so here's the way this system works. So if you were to receive a level 3 on your proctored exam in advanced skills or in maternity, either one, your grade on that test is a 90. Okay, so you'll have an A on that test. So if you want to earn back 1 point, see there's 1 point you can earn back, then you will do a minimum of 1 hour reading or watching videos in the focused review in ATI. More time is recommended to prepare for NCLEX, so you should really be reviewing all topics that are missed. And then choose a minimum of 1 topic missed and complete an active learning template. If you do those things and you turn them into your instructor, you will get 1 point added to your exam. Okay, that may not seem like a lot, but that could actually really help someone. And on down the line, a level 2, your grade would be an 80. And you need to spend 2 hours in your focused review and do 2 active learning templates in order to get 2 points back. Let me see if I can get this down here a little better. Okay, for a level 1, you would get a 70 on your grade, and you would need to do 3 hours in your focused review, 3 active learning templates, and you would get 3 points back if you complete those. And if you got below a level 1, you're going to have a 60 as one of your unit exams. And then if you spend 4 hours in your focused review and do 4 active learning templates, you can get 4 points back for that. So again, those focused reviews are very important, and that's why we're giving you credit for doing those focused reviews. Keep in mind that when the instructor grades your focused reviews for completion, if there's not much written on the active learning template, like if there's one word or one sentence, you may not get credit for that active learning template. So you do want to be detailed on it. And as you're filling them out, fill them out as if you were filling them out to study for your own information to study for NCLEX. So you want to handwrite all of them. When you download them, which we'll show you how to do in a minute, you print them and you're going to handwrite them. They'll never be typed. They'll always be handwritten. This is because you'll learn a lot more if you actually handwrite them. So we'll show you how to get to those active learning templates here in just a minute. But I wanted to show you that my results area and how to look at topics to review, and also a little bit about how we're moving into the spring with those 2 classes that are going to have the proctored exams in it. So you're going to be taking 2 practice exams in advanced skills and in maternity, and 1 proctored exam at the end of each one of those classes, which will count for the same as a unit exam. So let's close this tab. Okay, we're still in My Results tab. Okay, you can see the comprehensive predictor, which we don't take until the summer. That is scored differently. It's scored as a percentage, but we will review that later when summer gets here. Okay, so now let's look at the tabs again. Let's go to the My ATI tab. This is where you'll find your Improve. So you have your Improve tab. We talked about the Test tab. There's the Approve, there's the Apply. That's where you get to your real life, and then you have your NCLEX prep. So click here on Improve. And this is going to show any practice exam that you took and any proctor exam. So scrolling down here, you can see that this student took, here's a proctored exam, and here's some practice exams. So the practice exams have the results. It shows how many attempts there were. It shows the results. And then it has the study materials. And then you can see the practice exams have a continue quiz. So there's some quiz questions to help you with that. Again, those practice exams, you do want to spend time in the focused review on those so that you can get really competent and be ready to take that proctored exam. That's how you study for the proctored exam. All right, so if we go into, let's just choose one of these. Let's choose the PN Adult Med-Surg 2017, and let's click on Study Materials. And this will take you to the areas that you need remediation in. Okay, so it's got study materials for all these different categories that we talked about. It shows how many items you got correct out of how many total. So you can, here's one that was not access, basic care and comfort. So if you were just doing the minimal, like your 1 hour or your 2 hours, whatever you decide to do, you would want to pick the one that you scored the lowest on. But again, we do strongly encourage you to do all of these topics that you had problems with. Okay, so we'll click begin. And this takes you to your focused review. So you can see on the left side, you've got the topics that need reviewing, okay? Then over here, you have the reading material that will be actually in the ATI books. If you click on this little arrow, it'll open up the book for you. So you'll want to read. It's got all the reading material right here for you that you need to read through. So read all the material. When you scroll to the bottom, you can also do these extra little exercises, active learning scenario, and then start application exercise. You could do those. So after you read, then just hit this little arrow again. hit the focus review again, and you'll see both sides again. So here's content, that's what we're under here. Here's outcome videos. So if you click on that, you can watch any one of those videos. And then there's more than one place to access these active learning templates, but this is where one of the places you can access active learning templates, but I'll show you another place also. So here's your content. So let's just say you scored a level 2 on your exam. And so you have an 80, that's your grade. And now you've taken the proctored exam and you want to get back 2 points. So you could get an 82 on the exam. So you're going to spend 2 hours in here. Okay. I recommend again that you spend all the time needed to get through all these topics. And it will show in your results how long you spent in there. Okay, and by the way, you may have to download that report and give it to your instructor for your time spent in focus review. That is completely up to the individual instructor. So some instructors they choose to look it up on the computer to see how long you spent in there, or they might want you to actually submit the report showing how much time you spent in there to get that credit. Okay, so let's look at content. So this area shows stroke priority action when planning meals for a client who had a cerebral vascular accident. So there's safety risk reduction, and it says it's under managing client care, but let me go back to this. So it took you right to the area that you need to read, safety risk reduction. Okay, so you'll want to read all of this content before you do anything else. Click on focus review to get back. Okay, and then there is the consult speech consult speech language pathologist to assess swallowing and gag reflexes. So that was a weak area. So here's the reading for that. And go back here. Okay, then right under here's another area to get to your active learning template, which is really cool. So here's the basic concept, which we're going to go through the different active learning templates just quickly here in a minute. But you could choose your concept could be assessing gag reflex is your concept. So these are different, you can choose things that you want. So with these active learning templates, you want to just be creative and choose something that you need to learn about. Okay, so that's going to be a little bit up to you on that part. Here's some other content areas that need improving. Stroke, priority nursing intervention for a client who had a stroke. Okay, so just click the little arrow down. There's safety risk reduction. Okay, so again, it's going to go straight to that reading section. So you'll want to read first, always read first. And then your other one is having suction available. So here's the reading on that. Have suction apparatus ready at the bedside. Really good information. And you will see all this on your NCLEX exam. So very important to read all this. And then here's your active learning template here, system disorder. Okay, so the system disorder obviously here is going to be your stroke. So there's a lot of areas to fill in here that's going to help you to gain the knowledge that you need for that particular system disorder. Okay, same thing down the line. So here's emergency principles and management prioritizing patient care for a client who has sepsis. There's airway, breathing, and circulation. And when I click on that, it goes straight to that reading. So that's great the way it does that. Same thing on the next one, maintain a patent airway and monitor respiratory status. Goes straight to that reading section. And then another system disorder active learning template there. Okay, and then here we have multiple sclerosis. Okay, let me see if I'm not scrolling down far enough here. Yeah, there we go. Consider referral to occupational and physical therapy. So that was the weak area, and this is the reading for that. Go back to focused review, and you've got another system disorder. So you're going to do the active learning template, whatever topic you choose, you're going to, so remember, so if you made an 80, you're going to have to pick 2 topics to do to be able to earn back those 2 points. Okay, so that you might decide to choose stroke. So maybe you don't understand stroke, so you want to choose that one. So that's the topic that you're going to do, and you're going to choose that topic, okay? And then you're going to do a basic concept on one of these areas. Then you're going to have to choose another one. So you might decide that you want to choose emergency nursing principles. So you're going to do airway, breathing, circulation, and you're going to read all these areas, so your topics here, and then you'll do this active learning template. Again, you print those and you fill them out by hand. Okay, so now we're going to, that's the focused review. That's pretty much it on the focused review part. You can spend a lot of time in there, watch those videos. So you're trying to just stuff as much information in your head as you can through the nursing program to get ready for NCLEX. Any one of the instructors will tell you that when they were in the nursing program, that's what they did. They spent their entire life, by the time they were in the nursing program, just studying and putting as much knowledge into their head as they could on different diagnoses, different nursing care for those, the medications that go with those. We all made acronyms to remember those things. And then you keep on doing the practice questions to just keep getting better and better at that. Okay, so that's the focused review. I hope that helped you understand the focused review a little bit. Now, if you look on the My ATI tab, you can click on active learning templates, and you can also get your active learning templates here. I recommend you get them in the focused review because it's telling you specifically which active learning template to do. Okay, so just one more time, let me go in here just to show you one more time. So we had Med-Surg open, and we went to basic care and comfort, I think. Pretty sure that's the one we went to. Okay, and even if we didn't go to that one, that's okay. Yes, that's the one we went to. Okay, so there's the stroke. So again, that's your topic, and here's the active learning template that they want you to do for this topic of stroke, which is basic concepts. That's the one you'd want to do. So you can just print it from right here. So go in here and you're going to download, open, go ahead and print this, and then fill this out by hand. And what you need to do is get a binder, and you're going to save all of your active learning templates that you do starting in the spring in this binder, and I would organize them. By the type of active learning template. So maybe make some tabs that say basic concepts, tabs that say system disorders, whatever it says. So since all of these are not going to be here because it's only covering the topics that the student needed assistance with, this is how I recommend you get to your active learning template, just because it tells you which active learning template to do. Like here, it's telling you to do system disorder. So, but just for teaching purposes, I'm going to go back to the other page to show you where to find all the active learning templates, so I could show you which ones we have total. So you'll see different ones, but so under My ATI tab, if you click on active learning templates, every active learning template that ATI has is under this tab. Okay, so you've got basic concept, you've got diagnostic procedure, you have growth and development, medication, nursing skill, system disorder, therapeutic procedure, concept analysis. So let's go through just a couple of them. I showed you basic concept. And your instructor can help you on how to fill these active learning templates out a little bit more. But just for a reference to let you know, if you will open your ATI books, you will see at the end of the chapter, if you find a certain topic that you're trying to improve on, it has an outline, a lot of the areas outlined from these active learning templates. So it's going to cover a lot of that. I'm going to look at system disorder. This one has a lot of data you have to fill out on it. Again, you want to print it and because you're going to handwrite it. Okay. So all of these areas that you see on here, you're going to have to fill out. But a lot of these, you're going to find them at the end of these chapters in your ATI books. You're going to find, so say you were doing this on stroke. So your disorder disease process would be stroke. And then your alterations in health would be whatever problems that are going on, like difficulty swallowing, whatever that disorder has caused. Okay, you put there. And these areas: pathophysiology, health promotion, disease prevention, risk factors, expected findings, lab tests, diagnostic procedures, nursing care, therapeutic procedures, medications, client education, interprofessional care, complications. Most of these you can find at the end of the chapter that talks about that disease in your ATI book. So that's a really good tip for you right there. Write legibly so you can read it later, and then you'll punch holes in it and put it in your binder. This can become a resource for you to study for NCLEX. So this is a really good study binder to have to get ready for your tests in the summer and your NCLEX. And it's also helping you study for these proctored exams, obviously. So those are all the active learning templates for that. Okay. Let me just show you the medication. I would suggest that you go into every one of them and look at them and see what they look like, because they all do look different. So this is the medication one, and obviously the medication one, you're going to find most of this obviously in your Davis Drug Guide. Okay. Medications is something you do want to get familiar with. Start to associate that with that disease process, because that's where you're going to put it all together, and then you will end up seeing that and those types of questions on your NCLEX exam. Also on your comprehensive predictor and your HESI exam and all the exams that you take in the summer. These areas will help you to be able to become more knowledgeable in those areas and on those topics. Okay, I think that pretty much covers everything I was going to talk about today. So that's it, and I hope that helped you in being able to access and do a focused review. So you want to do the best you can so you can get the credit and be able to take that knowledge, learn it, memorize it, and then be able to apply it in a critical thinking situation. Thank you all for listening, and good luck to each and every one of you.